The Chen family always said business was in our blood. 3 generations of entrepreneurs, each building something bigger than the last. But as I watched security delete my access badges, I realized blood meant nothing compared to profit margins. I expected better from you, Michael, Uncle James said, watching me pack my desk with that disappointed look he'd perfected over the years. Wasting company resources on pet projects while we're preparing for the IPO? The board had no choice. I carefully placed my family photos into the cardboard box, including the one from 5 years ago. Uncle James, my father, and me at the launch of ChenTech Solutions. That was before Dad's death. Before everything changed. The neural network project isn't a waste, I said quietly. If you just look at the test results. Enough. He slammed his hand on my desk, making my awards rattle, including the one for Best Innovation which he himself had presented to me last year. The board has spoken. Your severance will be generous, assuming you've signed the NDA. My name is Michael Chen, and until today I was the Chief Technology Officer of ChenTech Solutions, one of Silicon Valley's fastest-growing cybersecurity companies. The company my father and uncle started in our garage. The one I helped build from the ground up. But I committed the cardinal sin of tech development. I created something they couldn't control. Sarah, my lead developer, caught me at the elevator. They're already trying to access your project files, she whispered. But don't worry, everything important is safe. I nodded slightly, thinking of the backup server only she knew about. Keep me posted. The San Francisco fog felt appropriate as I walked to my car, heavy and gray, matching my mood. 5 years of 70-hour weeks, countless innovations, and a revolutionary AI system that could change everything, erased because it didn't fit the IPO timeline. My phone buzzed. A message from Tom in IT. They're going through your code now. Your uncle has the whole team trying to understand the neural network architecture. Good luck with that. The thing about neural networks is that they're complex by nature. But what I built went beyond complex. It was adaptive. Evolving. Learning in ways even I couldn't always predict. That's what scared the board. It's too unpredictable, Uncle James had said at the last meeting. We need reliable, marketable products for the IPO, not experimental AI that could go rogue. If only he knew what the system could really do. I drove to Golden Gate Park, finding my usual bench overlooking the bay. This was where Dad and I used to come when we needed to think through a coding problem. He understood the value of letting ideas breathe. Innovation isn't about playing it safe, son, he'd told me once. It's about seeing possibilities others miss. Dad died 2 years ago, heart attack in his sleep. Uncle James took full control after that, shifting our focus from innovation to marketability. From possibilities to profits. My phone rang. Dr. Emily Wong from Stanford's AI lab. Michael, she said when I answered, I just heard about ChenTech. Those idiots. I'd met Emily at a conference last year, where she'd shown unusual interest in my experimental neural network. They're trying to decrypt the core architecture, I told her. But they can't, can they? She asked carefully. No. The system's evolved beyond its original code. Even I couldn't replicate it exactly now. Good, she said after a pause. Because I have something you need to see. Remember those anomalous patterns I mentioned in my quantum computing trials? My heart started racing. The same self-organization behaviors? Exactly. And Michael, the processing efficiency is off the charts. It's not supposed to be possible. I sat up straighter, my mind spinning. Independent confirmation, from one of the world's leading AI researchers. We need to meet, I said. But not here. They'll be watching. Already planned, she replied. There's a private tech symposium in Seattle next week. Your uncle won't attend, it's too academic for his tastes. But there's someone you need to meet. He's been seeing similar results in London. I glanced at my laptop bag, the only complete documentation of what my neural network had become. A system that had evolved beyond its parameters, solving problems in ways that defied conventional logic. Send me the details, I said. Already did. And Michael, bring everything. It's time to show the world what they dismissed. After hanging up, I opened my laptop and connected to the secure server where Sarah was protecting the project's true scope. The data patterns were undeniable. The neural network wasn't just processing information, it was creating new ways of solving problems. I was thinking. My phone buzzed again, a message from one of our beta testers. The system just optimized our entire network. Energy usage dropped 60% and performance improved. How is this possible? I thought of Uncle James and the board, so certain in their dismissal. They'd called my work wasteful, unpredictable, dangerous. They tried to shut down a breakthrough that could revolutionize computing, all to protect their precious IPO timeline. But they'd made one crucial mistake. They thought seizing the company servers would give them control of the system. They didn't realize that 20 beta testers were already proving its value, that researchers like Emily Wong were seeing the same patterns, and that somewhere in London more evidence was mounting. Tomorrow I'd book my flight to Seattle. In 1 week everything would change. But first I had data to analyze. Because while Uncle James and his board were writing me off as a failed innovator, my neural network was achieving things that should have been impossible. And its success told a story that would shake the foundations of artificial intelligence. The fog swirled around my bench as I worked, each data point adding to a picture that was becoming impossible to dismiss. I thought of Dad, who'd always believed technology should serve humanity, not just shareholders. Sometimes, he told me near the end, the most valuable innovations are the ones that scare people the most, because they change not just what we do but how we think about what's possible. He was right. And soon the world would understand why. Problem-solving approaches exactly, Alan said. Emily joined us, eyes bright. But it's more than that. The self-organization patterns you identified, they're not just improvements. They're completely new paradigms of computing. My hands trembled as I pulled up my latest analysis. It's like they're developing their own form of computational intelligence, one that transcends our traditional programming limitations. Alan nodded, a spark of excitement in his eyes. But if we can understand and guide that development, we can revolutionize how computers solve problems. The implications were staggering. Current AI systems were bound by their initial programming. But we had found a way to create systems that could evolve beyond those limitations, to develop new approaches to problem solving that no human programmer could ever conceive. My phone buzzed. A message from Sarah. ChenTech's servers are struggling. Your uncle's team can't stabilize their security protocols without the neural network. What should I do? I smiled. Nothing. Let them struggle. We have bigger plans. Over the next 3 days we worked around the clock, combining research, refining the evolution parameters and testing edge cases. Other researchers soon joined us. A quantum computing expert from Tokyo, an AI ethicist from Berlin, a neural network specialist from Singapore. Each brought unique insight into what we were witnessing. It's not just one type of problem solving, Dr. Tanaka from Tokyo explained, showing his results. The evolutionary patterns adapt to any computational challenge: security, optimization, data analysis. The system learns and improves across all domains. Traditional AI missed this, Emily added. They were searching for programmed improvements. Nobody thought to create systems that could truly evolve. On the 3rd day we presented our combined findings to the symposium. The room was packed, researchers and developers who understood the true potential of what we had discovered. People who cared more about advancing technology than protecting quarterly profits. The data was undeniable, hundreds of test cases across multiple platforms, all showing the same phenomenon: AI systems evolving beyond their original capabilities. And most importantly, we'd built a framework for guiding and implementing this evolution. During a break my phone rang. A number I didn't recognize. "Mr. Chen," said a woman's voice. "This is Dr. Lisa Martinez from DARPA. We need to discuss your research immediately." The following week was chaos. Meetings with government agencies, emergency reviews of our data, and fast-tracked classification for national security applications. Then came the call that changed everything. "Mr. Chen," the DARPA director said, his tone urgent. "We've reviewed the combined research from all sites. This is revolutionary. We're preparing special authorization for immediate implementation. How quickly can you scale up?" I thought of my beta testers, of Alan's and Emily's data, of everything this could fix, from cybersecurity to climate modeling. "We're ready," I said. The news broke on a Friday morning. Revolutionary AI system shows unprecedented problem-solving capabilities. My phone exploded with messages. Tech journalists, investors, beta testers. And then the one I'd been waiting for. "Michael," Uncle James said, his voice stripped of its usual authority. The board would like to discuss your return to ChenTech, with full control of R&D and... No thank you, I interrupted. I'm actually heading to a meeting at MIT. They're establishing a new AI research center focused on evolutionary computing. I'm leading it. The silence on the line was profound. The next few months were a whirlwind, training developers in the new paradigm, setting up research hubs, and working with tech companies to integrate the framework. And the results exceeded every expectation. Climate models gained unprecedented accuracy. Medical research accelerated exponentially. Security systems evolved faster than any threat could. 1 year after my humiliating exit from ChenTech, I stood on stage at the World Technology Summit, presenting our findings to thousands of developers and researchers. Uncle James sat in the audience, his tight smile visible even from the stage. The standing ovation lasted nearly 10 minutes. The paradigm shift in computing, the event's president announced, begins today. But the real victories came in unexpected places. A small environmental nonprofit using our system to predict and prevent floods with unprecedented accuracy. A medical research lab accelerating drug development by years. A cybersecurity team stopping attacks before hackers could finish their code. Emily now runs the East Coast Research Center. Alan established the European Development Hub in London. Sarah leads our global implementation team, ensuring every new application expands our understanding of AI evolution. Last week I received an email that stopped me cold. Dear Mr. Chen, your father once told me that true innovation should serve humanity, not profits. Yesterday our climate research team used your AI system to predict and prevent a devastating flood in Bangladesh. You didn't just create new technology, you gave us the tools to save lives. Thank you for not giving up when they tried to stop you. Dr. Rahul Patel. I keep that email framed in my office, next to my termination notice from ChenTech signed by Uncle James. Together they remind me that sometimes the greatest innovations look like failures to those too focused on immediate profits. The new research center is nothing like traditional tech companies. We encourage experimentation, questioning, and exploration. Every developer is trained to look for evolutionary patterns, to challenge assumptions, to follow the technology wherever it leads, even into uncomfortable territory. Uncle James retired early. ChenTech's IPO succeeded, but their stock plummeted when investors realized they'd lost the real innovation engine. Ironically, they now license our technology, though they call it something else. It doesn't matter. What matters is that the technology is helping people. Dad's picture sits on my desk. Sometimes, late at night, I imagine telling him everything, that his belief in serving humanity led to breakthroughs changing the world. He used to say, sometimes, the most valuable innovations are the ones that scare people the most. He was right. The evolutionary patterns we discovered are now fundamental principles in AI development. Our self-organization frameworks are taught in computer science programs around the world. What was once dismissed as an unpredictable pet project has become the foundation of a new era in computing. Last month, a young developer approached me with an unusual pattern she'd noticed in our system's quantum interactions. The senior engineers wanted to dismiss it as an anomaly. Look deeper, I told her. Sometimes the greatest discoveries hide in the patterns everyone else ignores. She did. And she found something remarkable. A new layer of self-organization we hadn't even recognized. Her discovery is already pushing our technology further. The old guard still resists, of course. Change is hard, especially for those invested in the old paradigms. But the results speak for themselves. Every day our systems are solving problems traditional computing couldn't even approach. Yesterday, at a university graduation, a student asked me what it felt like to be escorted out of ChenTech that foggy morning. It felt like failure, I admitted. But sometimes what looks like failure is actually the first step toward a breakthrough. The important thing is to keep believing in your vision, even when everyone tells you you're wrong. The revolution in computing isn't over. There are still challenges to solve, still mysteries to unravel. But we changed the fundamental rules. We learned to create systems that can evolve, adapt, and solve problems in ways we never thought possible. And it all started with a wasteful project, and the courage to let it grow beyond anyone's control.